Hi everyone, and welcome to the DNA Dialogue, where we make biology simple and sometimes a little too fun to forget. Today, we are talking about biological rhythms. Since this is our very first video, thank you for joining in. So, ever wondered why you feel sleepy in class but suddenly energetic at midnight when exams are tomorrow? Yep, blame the biological rhythms. So, let's break it down. Biological rhythms are simply the body's natural clocks. These are regularly recurring biological processes that occur in living organisms. Regularly recurring means they repeat after an interval. So, biological rhythms are your body's natural clocks, and think of them as your body saying, "Hey, it's time to sleep," or "Hey, it's time to wake up and scroll through Instagram." So, one of the most common examples of biological rhythms is menstrual cycle. How does your body know that it's been a month and it has to menstruate again? It has to repeat the menstrual cycle again. So, all comes under biological rhythms, and stay tuned for the next part. So, the types of biological rhythms are ultradian, infradian, circadian, and circannual. And we have to focus on circadian and circannual as it is mentioned in the syllabus. First, let's start with circadian rhythms. So what they basically mean that these rhythms are about a day. They run on a 24-hour cycle. The boss here is the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock in your brain. Imagine the SCN as that strict teacher who always knows the timetable. So the physiological functions that they repeat after one day, like your sleep wake cycle. You sleep every day, you wake up every day, and it is a 24-hour cycle. How does our body know when to sleep and when to wake up? All this comes under circadian rhythms, and the thing that controls it is the master clock called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Even though its name has nucleus, it is not a nucleus, it is a group or a cluster of neurons present in the interior hypothalamus above the optic chiasm. So remember its name, it can be asked directly in the exam. Now let's talk about the hormonal control of circadian rhythms. One more thing which you should learn is about melatonin. Melatonin is its partner in crime and the hormone that tells you when to sleep. It goes up at night, making you sleepy, and goes down in the morning. So, melatonin is secreted from the pineal gland. Melatonin secretion begins from pineal gland around 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. and when it is its concentration is more in our body feels sleepy. It promotes sleepiness and lowers our body temperature. It is the reason that our body temperature is low during the night. Peak melatonin levels maintain our sleep, and during deep sleep phases, growth hormone is released. During early morning, cortisol peaks to promote awakening and alertness. And how does our body know that it should produce cortisol? We should learn about this in the next slide. So there are some genes which control this rhythm, and you should remember only the names of these genes. First one is the clock and BMAL1 gene. Second one is purr and cry gene. So one more thing that you should understand here is the Zeitgebers. What are Zeitgebers? These are external cues that our body receives. The literal meaning of Zeitgeber is time givers in German, and the strongest Zeitgeber is light. That's why staring at your phone at 2 a.m. tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime. Other Zeitgebers include food, temperature, and even social activities. So here's the catch. If you disturb your circadian rhythms, you'll get problems like jet lag. Why am I wide awake at 3 a.m. in a new country? Mood swings, and in the long run, even metabolic issues like diabetes. So, yeah, your body clock takes revenge. Now, let's start the circannual rhythms. So, circannual rhythms are yearly cycles, and the main thing that you should remember here is the environmental control or environmental cue is photoperiod, that is the day length. How does our body know that it's been a year and we have to repeat this thing? How does bird, how does they know, how do they know that it's time to migrate? So photoperiod is the primary cue for circannual rhythms. Changes in daylight duration signal seasonal transitions. Melatonin duration reflects night length because it is secreted during the night. So some more examples are migration in birds, hibernation in mammals, seasonal breeding in animals, and in humans, seasonal affective disorder. So the next time winter makes you feel like staying in bed forever, it's not laziness, it's science. What is its clinical significance and what are the disruptions? So the main thing that you should remember here is jet lag. It is the mismatch between internal circadian rhythm and external environment. To understand this, when you travel from India to America, there are different time zones. If you are here at 12 noon, it will be day. But when you travel to another time zone, say America, it will be night. So your body takes time to adjust to the new environment. It is called jet lag. You will feel sleepy during the day and you will be awake at night. It is because of the jet lag. So the key points that you should remember, first is the master clock location, that is SCN, suprachiasmatic nucleus in anterior hypothalamus. Second is primary hormone, which is melatonin, and you should also remember cortisol. Melatonin is secreted during the night and cortisol during the morning. Third one is the clock genes, their name. You should remember clock, BMAL1, per and crygene, and strongest Zeitgeber is light. And fifth one is the circannual control, which is photoperiod is the major environmental cue for yearly rhythms. Like migration. Migration in birds happens yearly. And how do they know that it's time to migrate? Their body takes external cues, that is photoperiod, the length of the day. Because during winters the length of the day is different and during summers the length of the day and night is different. So you should remember all these points. These can be asked directly in the exams. Let's wrap it up and do a quick recall. First, we learned about circadian rhythms, which are daily rhythms or a 24-hour clock. Second one were circannual rhythms, which is yearly clock. SCN is the master, melatonin is the messenger, and sight givers like light keep the system running smoothly. If you mess with these rhythms, hello jet lag, mood swings, and binge eating at 2 a.m. That's all for today's episode of the DNA Dialogue. If you enjoyed this mix of science and fun, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends who are probably watching this instead of sleeping. Thanks for watching, and remember, respect your body clock or your body clock will not respect you.